Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 NFL Draft Recap Show. We're going to recap all the drafts the Browns took and what some of the other teams took in this year's draft, because I thought it was a very interesting NFL draft this year in 2025. And I felt the Browns did very well in this draft. We're going to get to all that, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It is an NBA playoff trivia question. It is an NBA trivia question. Who was the first player in NBA history to score 30,000 career points? And I'll have the answer later in the podcast. All right, now to begin this NFL draft recap, despite the fact that the Browns did not take one wide receiver in this year's draft, I feel they did very well. The picks they had in each round of the draft, uh, I know, I know you and a lot of other people, including the media, may feel different and have a different opinion and grade, but to me, I feel that Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski really did well, and they traded down and up when it was the right time. And I thought every pick through before making each selection, and they did think every pick through before making each selection. And I'm going to go over every one of the Browns draft picks in each uh, each round one by one, and at the end, I will give my grade for the Browns in this year's draft. Now, we'll start with the round one pick. And as you know, the Browns traded the number two pick in round one to get the number five pick. That was to Jacksonville, and they passed on wide receiver Travis Hunter of Colorado. Now, in the first round, they took with the number five pick, they took Mason Graham, a defensive lineman from Michigan. And he really put up some he was really put up some big numbers of Michigan. And I think this was a good move for them to take Michigan. Now in the second round, the Browns had the 33rd pick and the 36th pick. They had two picks in the second round. With pick 33, the Browns selected Carson Schweisinger, linebacker, UCLA, which I thought was a good move because they needed to take a linebacker. And Schweisinger, he really put up some. He was really very dominant with UCLA. Now, with the 36th pick, the Browns selected uh, Quinshawn Judkins, running back, Ohio State. And he put up a lot of big numbers and made a lot of big plays with Ohio State, including in the national championship game. Now, in round three, the Browns had two picks again, pick 67 and pick 94. With the 67th pick in the third round of the draft, the Browns selected Harold Fannin Jr., tight end Bowling Green, which I think they needed to take a tight end, and I think this was a good move on their part for them to take uh, uh, Harold Fannin Jr. And they needed to take a tight end. Now, with pick 94 in the third round, the Browns selected Dylan Gabriel, a quarterback out of Oregon. Now, he's not that big. He's not that big a guy, but he can make the plays, and he did make a lot of big plays with Oregon. And we'll see, because they will be competing uh, uh, for that starting quarterback in for the upcoming season. And in round four of the draft, the Browns selected Billy Sampson, running back Tennessee, and they did need to take an additional running back because I don't think we're going to have Nick Chubb back. I'm not sure yet. So we're not sure now. And I think this was a good move. Dylan Sampson really was a very dominant, consistent player with Tennessee. And with their final pick in the fifth round, this one they traded up for, they kind of put a surprise and shock in everybody. And in this year's draft, the Browns selected quarterback Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. And let me tell you, it was clearly a surprise and shock to everybody, as I just mentioned, that the Browns took Deion Sanders' son, as you know. As you know, Shedeur Sanders is the son of NFL great Deion Sanders. And I thought it was a really good move for the Browns to trade up in round five to get Sanders. Shedeur Sanders waited until the fifth round to finally hear his name called. The Browns really understood that. Well, Sanders did not go off uh, the board Thursday or Friday, and it wasn't until the 145th pick in the 2025 NFL draft that Sanders finally went off. That Shedeur Sanders' name was finally called by the Browns, and and uh, and but Barry and the Browns spent a lot of time with him. Barry told Sanders over FaceTime from the Browns draft room, as seen in video released by the team. But we're going to take you off the board here and now, all right, brother? Now listen, you gotta come in and you gotta work hard. And they actually said that. You gotta earn your job and earn your keep. But it doesn't matter where you're taken. It matters where you're taken. It matters what you do from this point forward. All right. And this is clearly what he said. You're talented. We spent a lot of time with you, and you're a good kid. Barry continued with Sanders listening alongside family. Let's get ready to go to work and prove all the people who passed on you wrong. And that's exactly what Sanders wants to do. And I can agree with that. And Browns coach Kevin Stefanski spoke with Sanders next, suggesting fall, the quarterbacks fall from widely projected first rounder to day three after thought could end up helping the rookie in the long run. And I'll get back to more of this in just a second. But right now, it's time to reveal today's Scott Sports 101. The answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NBA trivia question. Who was the first NBA player in NBA history to score 30,000 career points? If you said Wilt the Still Chamberlain, you are correct. And he was the first player to score 30,000 career points. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. And now, getting back to this year's draft recap. Uh, Remember, I told you the Lord works in mysterious ways, right? Stefanski said it's an opportunity that we're going to get to work together, okay, buddy? And that's another thing I said to him. Sanders' opportunity will begin in short order as Cleveland kicks off its spring programming. The son of former NFL great Deion Sanders was one of four different additions to the club's quarterback room this offseason after trade acquisition. Kenny Pickett, free agent signing Joe Flacco, and rookie Dylan Gabriel, who was drafted out of Oregon by the Browns 2 rounds before Sanders' selection. Now, not drafting one wide receiver, the Browns knew when it was the right time to trade down and trade up, and I felt the Browns made a good move trading down from the number 2 pick, which was wide receiver Travis Hunter, as I mentioned earlier, to the number 5 pick, and the Browns to trade up to the 5th round to get quarterback Shedeur Sanders from the Colorado Buffaloes. The Browns did very well in this draft. Spite not taking one wide receiver, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, they knew they had to get it right for this upcoming season, but they still have a lot of work to do. The media has been giving their grades, and no doubt about it. I give the Browns an A- for this year's draft. And the Browns, as I said, still have a lot of work to do because Bears' job is still in the hot seat, and Kevin Stefanski's job in the hot seat because they cannot have another 3-14 season like we had last year. And I have another bit of Browns news. Former Cleveland Browns wide receiver Elijah Moore has signed a one-year contract with the Buffalo Bills, worth up to $5 million, as first reported by Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Moore's move to Buffalo marks a new chapter after spending the 2023 and 2024 seasons in Cleveland. Just after Moore visited the Bills earlier in the week, the Browns signed an unrestricted free agent tender on Moore. The strategic decision means that the Bills' signing of Moore will factor into the formula that determines compensatory draft picks for Cleveland in 2026. Cleveland acquired the speedy receiver in 2023 via a trade with the New York Jets, moving down in the draft to secure him. In his two seasons with the Browns, Moore recorded 120 receptions for 1,178 yards and 3 touchdowns, providing a consistent receiving threat, but was an overall insufficient target. Now he'll look to contribute to the Bills' offense. So this was really, I think, probably a good move that the Browns made, and really, I give the New York Giants also name match because they took Jackson Dart and some other good and a lot of other good draft picks because they also needed a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And I give the let's see, I give the Chicago Bears, I give them a B plus because they really, there was few picks, there's a couple of picks I felt could have been better, but all in all, they get a B plus from me for their draft. So that's basically a few of the teams I wanted to mention. I don't have time to mention them all, but the Cavs are down 1-0 as they lost 121 to 112 last night of game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Hopefully they'll win tomorrow as game two will be on TNT. I believe it's 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Check me if I'm wrong on that. And actually, we have one game going on right now. It's there was a final in OT. The New York Knicks have taken game one of their Eastern Conference semifinal game between them and the Boston Celtics, 108 to 105 by 3. And boy, this came down. It was OT and really came down to the wire in that game. So the New York Knicks are up 1-0 in the best of their 7-game series. Yeah, they are up 1-0, and boy, just what a game that was tonight. And so this is I am really surprised that Boston did not beat the Knicks tonight. And right now, the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder, are in game one of the Western Conference Eastern Conference Finals. And Denver is up right now in the first quarter with 6:45 to go, 13 to 10. So it's early in that one. And I think the Thunder have the ball, I think. So we'll see what happens in that one. That game is at 7 o'clock on TNT. It's not 8 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow at 9:30, the Golden State Warriors will play the Minnesota Timberwolves in their game one of the Western Conference semifinals. So that's basically what I wanted to touch on. That's now 15-12 Denver. 6:23 left to go in the first. So that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 NFL recap show. And so I'll be back with another one of my podcasts later on this week uh, or this weekend. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. It's 3, 2, 1. I'm done.